Okay, I'm going to record this now. Okay, who knows yang dia mau tengok balik kan. Okay, so over here, question number 3 kan, it says that, okay, the question says that diagram 1 shows a triangle PQR with the area. Okay, dalam soalan ni dia cakap, dia adalah satu triangle PQR dengan satu area. Area kamu 2x square plus xy minus y square, cm square. Okay, so soalan cakap, okay, you are given this one. What is this? Is this the height kah? That is the height kan? That's the value of h kan? X plus y is the height. Alright? And then question asks you to find the length of your QR. Erti kata lain, you kena cari base dia. This is the base. Okay? Itu adalah base kamu. That is the base. That is the base of that triangle. Alright? Soalan bagi tahu kamu, you have an area. The area is given, this one, 2x square plus xy minus y square. So that's the area, right? Well, I would say this thing. Okay, ini kita akan buat macam ni, right? We will know that the area of the triangle is 1/2 multiplied by base multiplied by height. Okay, 1/2 darab dengan tapak darab dengan tinggi. Itu adalah you punya formula to find triangle. Am I correct? Okay, so apa yang kita nak buat sekarang adalah kamu tahu area kamu yang atas ni. Ini area. That is your area. So cikgu boleh substitute kat bawah ni. You have 2x square and then plus xy and then minus y square. Okay, and then kan, macam ni lah, I will do this one outside lah. Cikgu akan buat yang ni di luar. Kalau tidak, dia tak cukup tempat. Okay, it's not so, dia agak panjang sikit langkah dia. So I'm gonna copy this out. Right, I'm gonna do it outside lah. Cikgu nak buat di luar. Okay, so let's say we are having this one, the problem just now kan. Okay, so over here, this is your problem. You want to find the base. You nak cari base kamu. So, apa yang cikgu akan buat adalah, I'm going to say that my area, which is 2x square, and then plus xy, and then minus y square, is equivalent to 1/2 multiplied by the base yang kita tak tahu kan, QR. Okay, tapi height kamu tahu, your height is x plus y. So far, are you okay? Boleh terima so far macam ni? Masih okay lagi? Boleh okay Alright, now, what happened next? I am going to bring my 2 over to the left-hand side. So, when I bring my 2 over the left-hand side, it becomes multiply. Dia menjadi darab. Bila dia darab kan, semua kamu punya term tu, you akan darab dengan 2. You will multiply by 2. Okay? So, what happened is that you have 4x square plus 2xy minus 2y square equals to QR and then darab dengan x tambah y. QR times x plus y. Okay, times down. So I'll just write QR over here. QR times x plus y. Okay. All right. Now, there is one method of you trying to get what is the value of QR. Ada satu cara, tetapi cara tu you are not going to learn it in your form 2 lah. Itu cara adalah cara yang kita panggil sebagai long division. Long division is something that you learn in your form 6 lah. Okay, you learn in your form 6 lah, long division. You akan belajar dalam form 6 ataupun you belajar dekat universiti lah. So, I'm not going to share with you that idea. Cikgu takkan ajar kamu cara itu. Sebab kalau cikgu cakap cara itu kan, nanti dia akan sangat-sangat tidak berapa, how to say, it's not so nice. Nanti you memang akan tak faham punya. Okay? So, the only method for me to show you how to answer this question is, kamu kena cuba satu persatu. Means that this QR, you kena cuba dengan jawapan pertama, A. Okay, you have to put A inside there. So, kita tengok. Cuba tengok. Letakkan A kamu. Apa nilai A kamu? 4x tambah dengan 2y. Lepas tu darab dengan x tambah dengan y. Okay? Lepas tu, you cuba darab masuk. Cuba darab masuk. Masih ingat darab masuk ni? So, what do you get here? 4x times x is 4x square. Lepas tu 4x times y is 4xy. Okay? And then you have 2y times x. 2y times x is 2xy. And then 2y times y is 2y square. Okay? So now 4 plus 2 over here, this is 6xy. And then you have 4x square and then plus 2y square. Now, let me ask you, is this the same kah? Sama dengan yang ni? Sama tak? Tak sama kan? Kalau tak sama, maksudnya jawapannya A tu salah. A is not the answer. Okay? A is not the answer. Okay? So kalau A bukan jawapan, kita kena test one by one. Memang dah leceh lah, tapi this is the easiest way to do it, alright? So now kita test yang kedua pula. We try and test the second one. So second one adalah 4x minus 2y. Jadi kamu masukkan 4x minus 2y, jadi QR kamu kan. Okay, masukkan QR and then darab dengan x plus y. Let us try this out. Do you think you can get the answer or not? Kita cuba. 4x times x, 4x times y. So you get 4x square plus 4xy. Lepas tu, negative 2y times x, you get negative 2xy. And then negative 2y times y, you get negative 2y square. Okay? You akan dapat macam tu. So now, you're going to see that 4xy minus 2xy boleh dikira. 4 tolak 2 dapat 2xy. Lepas tu, belakang dia negative 2y square. And depan dia is 4x square. Okay? So now, do you see this is exactly the same now? Adakah dia sama sebiji? Sama kan? Sama kan? Kalau sama, maksudnya jawapan dia adalah B. Okay, nak? What do you think? Okay, alright. So this is the idea lah of you finding one by one sebenarnya. You kena cari satu persatu. You can find one by one actually, okay? Right. Now, maybe some of you might want to ask me, cikgu, yang cara yang long division cikgu cakap tadi macam mana? Okay, so over here, I'm going to show you lah, just an intro lah untuk kamu kan. Then this one you will actually have the vision that, oh, ini saya akan belajar semasa saya form 6 lah. This is something that you will learn in your form 6, okay? So over here, I am going to do a division. Sebab apa kan? Let's say, I'm going to start off with this one. You have 2x square plus xy. Sorry, plus xy. And then minus y square is equals to, oh sorry, 4 kan? Sekejap, cikgu tertinggal. 4x square plus 2xy minus 2y square. Okay, this is equals to QR multiplied by x plus y kan? Okay, so now what you need to do is that supposedly kalau ikutkan asal konsep dia adalah x plus y kena pindah ke sebelah. So bila x plus y pindah ke sebelah dia akan jadi bahagi ya. So kita dapat 4x square minus 2xy minus 2y square and then bahagi dengan x plus y. Alright, so this is what you have lah actually kan. Tapi tak pernah ada cara ataupun teknik yang you belajar untuk you ambil yang di atas tu bahagi dengan yang di bawah ni. Okay, there is no such method. Melainkan kalau you pandai untuk kamu factorize yang atas lah, you can do some factorization. Then should be fine. Alright. Kalau tidak, you have to do something called a long division. Alright. So this is something called a long division. So you can nampak kita akan letak macam ni. Because kalau kita ada nombor kan, katakan we have 25 divide by 5. Sepatutnya you buat macam ni kan. 25 letak dalam, 5 dekat luar. Ini macam you punya sekolah rendah kan. Like your primary school kan. So 5 times 5 is 25. Macam tu. So itu cara you buat semasa you sekolah rendah dulu kan. So now, we are going to do the same thing tapi untuk algebra. Uish, ini susah ni. So over here 4x square minus 2xy minus 2y square. Depan tu letak x plus y. Okay, letak x plus y. So now, apa yang cikgu nak kamu tengok adalah, okay, what am I going to do here is that I am going to think kan, macam mana x ni boleh jadi 4x kuasa 2a? I need to think that way. How do I get x to become 4x square? X nak tukar jadi 4x square kan, I have to multiply by 4x. Cikgu kena darab dengan 4x. I have to put 4x over here. Bila cikgu darab dengan 4x, dia seolah macam ni ya, 4x darab dengan x plus y. Dia kena darab ni ya. So x plus y darab dengan 4. So dapat 4x square. Dapatlah 4x square tu. Lepas tu plus 4xy. Dapat 4xy kat situ. Okay. So now, this is what happen next. You may not want to know how is this done lah. It's okay. Cuma cikgu nak tunjukkan kamu as an intro dan kamu saja. So this is one thing that you see in your form 6. Okay. In your form 6 ataupun in your university life. Right. So you have 4x square and then plus 4xy. Next, you akan tolak ni. You akan tolak ni. So, macam biasa kan, kamu belajar kamu punya division tu, kalau dah darab, bawah tu, you kena tolak kan. So, next, this is something that you might want to know. 4x kuasa 2, 4x kuasa 2 hilang lah. Alright? And then this one, negative 2xy minus 4xy. So, akan dapat negative 6xy. Lepas tu, minus 2y square. Dia memang agak mencabar sikit lah. Okay? Memang agak mencabar sikit lah. Alright? So, next, you have to think of another way, okay, of how are you going to get your y square ni. Macam mana dapat y square ni? How do I get y square over here? Alright, so how do I get minus 2y square? So most likely, let me see. Oh, sorry. This one is not 6. Cikgu tersilap. Should be should be minus 2 je. Cikgu tertinggal. Sini positif ni. So that's why sini sepatutnya 2. Minus 2 sejak. Okay. So you have to put a minus 2y. Baru dia akan dapat yang ni bawah ni. So over here, you can see something like this. So now, yang ini, kamu kena darab dengan ini balik. So therefore, you akan dapat negative 2y, lepas tu x plus y. Darab masuk, you akan dapat negative 2xy, and then minus 2y square. Dapat sebiji dekat bawah tu. So over here, baru you akan jadikan ini jawapan akhir kamu, which is minus 2xy, minus 2y square. Dapatlah hilang. So therefore, your answer should be the one on top. Inilah jawapan kamu yang sebenar. 4x tolak dengan 2y. Okay? But of course, this method here is what we call as long division. Okay, ini teknik dia, long division. You will not learn it before your Form 6. You punya Form 5 pun tak ada benda ni. Okay? So don't worry so much. This is just a mere introduction for you guys sahaja. Okay? Jangan pula beritahu. Nanti cikgu cakap, kena guna long division. Tidak. So the only method that I can teach you is by using trial and error. Okay, cuba jaya. Cuba jaya lah. Cuba tengok berjaya ke tidak. Macam tu. Okay. Cuba dengan ini tak berjaya. Cuba dengan ini berjaya. So that's your answer why it is on B. Kenapa jawapan dia B. What do you think? How many of you can follow this one? Question number 3. If you can you type a 1 for me? If you can. Type 1 for me. Alright, okay, so maksudnya boleh lah, ada yang boleh terima lah. So now, let us look at the next question pula. Okay, question number 3, you can snapshot, okay, whatever that you can. Alright, so try to snapshot first. Okay, so now we will look into question number 4. Kita tengok question number 4. Okay, question number 4. Anyone got the answer kah? A, B, C, or D? Question number 4. Apa jawapan kamu? A, B, C kah D? A. Okay, Priscilla said A. What about the rest? Patricia, Audrey, and Redcliffe. Is it A also? Oh, belum buat. Okay, so try it out first. Maybe I give you another 5 more minutes. Cuba tengok dulu soalan 4, 5, dan 6. Cuba dulu. Soalan 4, 5, dan 6. Okay, try it out first. Siapa yang dah siap soalan 4, cuba tengok soalan 5, soalan 6. Try dulu. I will go back to you at 3:30. Okay, 3:30. Okay, so question number 4. Let us discuss question number 4. Kita tengok How are we going to get your K as your subject? Okay, subject of the formula. Apa maksud subject of the formula? Subject of the formula maksudnya dia punya perkara rumus. Okay? Meaning to say, you punya K tu akan tinggal di sebelah kiri. You will leave it on the left hand side. Itu maksudnya. So let us try this out. You have 3K. Lepas tu minus, 3K pula. 3H. Lepas tu minus dengan 2K and then equals to 4 kan? Alright? Most likely, you are going to bring your 3H over to the right hand side. Okay? Mungkin you akan buat macam ni. So 3H pindahkan ke sebelah kanan. Okay? Pindahkan ke sebelah kanan. So apa jadi? You akan tinggalkan negative 2K dekat sini. Alright? And then you might have equals to negative 3H plus 4. Oh, tak ada tempat lagi. Okay, plus 4. Like that lah. Lepas tu, K kamu tinggalkan. This negative 2 kan, if you move it over to the other side, apa jadi? Is it becoming divide atau it becomes plus? Divide or plus? Divide kan? Bila you divide negative 2, you akan dapat negative 3H plus 4 divide by negative 2. Like that, right? Tapi of course you tengok dalam you punya pilihan jawapan A, B, C, D tak ada kan? You do not have any pilihan jawapan kan? So maksudnya kamu kena pecahkan ni jadi macam ni. Negative 3H bahagi dengan negative 2. Lepas tu tambah 4 bahagi dengan negative 2 also. So maksudnya yang bahagi negative 2 tu you pecahkan jadi dua bahagian. Okay, becomes two different dua bahagian yang berbeza. Okay, actually this is correct macam ni betul So therefore you have this one here, negative dengan negative boleh hilang. Okay, this is what happened. Negative and negative boleh hilang. So therefore, you akan dapat 3 over 2H. Lepas tu, positif, negatif akan jadi negatif. 4 bahagi 2 dapat 2. So this is your answer. Okay, so kalau kita tengok ada jawapan jawapan kamu dekat A. Alright, so A is your answer. What do you think about this? Is this okay or not? Or, I think Priscilla betul lah. Priscilla got it right. Okay, what about the rest? Radcliffe, Audrey and Patricia, do you get it right? Yes, okay, bagus. Kalau betul, bagus. Alright, so over here, look at question number 5. Okay, kalau soalan ini betul, cuba screenshot the working step as well. Okay, screenshot the working step kalau ada yang silap. Cuba screenshot dulu. And then kita tengok question number 5, right? Now, question says it's a hexagon. Okay, benda ni adalah satu hexagon. Hexagon artinya you ada 6 bucu, 6 sisi. You have 6 vertices and also you have 6 sides. So, itu adalah you punya hexagon. Tapi soalan tak cakap dia adalah regular hexagon. You have to understand, when question says regular hexagon, alright, apa beza dia? Ada perkataan regular ni maksudnya, dia punya sisi tu semua sama panjang. So it means that you have something like this. If you have a question, tak sama panjang pula dah. Lebih kurang macam ni lah. So this one is the same as this one, same. Semua sama. Alright, lepas tu, dia punya angle pun semua sama. This one, angle, everything is the same. Itu kita panggil sebagai regular hexagon. Ataupun next time you nampak regular apa-apa jenis polygon pun, asalkan ada perkataan regular ataupun polygon sekata kat dalam BM. Okay? Polygon sekata, that means that they are of the same length and of the same size of the angle. But then, untuk soalan ni, memang dia tak sama besar. Tetapi, all the angles kalau ditambahkan adalah sama sebenarnya. Okay? Means that the total angle is still the same. Berapa total interior angles untuk you punya hexagon? Anyone knows? Interior angles of hexagon. Very good. Okay. So good job, Priscilla. The interior angle is 720 degree. Okay, 720 darjah. That is for your hexagon. So kalau you tengok sini, berapa angle kamu ada? Of course, you nampak 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ada satu lagi sebenarnya is this one, the reflex angle. Okay, the reflex angle over here is 240 degree. Okay, hopefully you can understand that one. 240 darjah. So now, you just add everything up and equate with 720 ya. Jadi over here, you akan ada 2, 4, 6, 8x. So 8x tambah dengan 240 sama dengan 720 darjah. Okay, so just do me a favor, 720 minus 240 kan, you dapat 8x equals to 480 kan. Lepas tu x equals to 480 divide by 8, so jawapan dia 60 darjah. So therefore, that C is your answer. Jawapan dia 60 degree. Anything to ask kah? Radcliffe, ada soalan mau tanya cikgu? You have anything to ask me? Macam, how do I know it's 720 kah? Kenapa dia 720 kah? Boleh kira, kenapa dia 720? Any formula yang kamu belajar untuk dapatkan interior angles, sudut pedalaman. Any formula yang belajar. Radcliffe, ingat formula tu? Apa formula dia? This is form 2 ah. Ini form 2 kamu. How to find interior angles? Total interior angles. Audrey, any idea how to find total interior angles? Ada satu formula kan? Apa formula dia? 2n minus 180 kan? So maksudnya bukan oh. Dia punya formula is not 2n minus 1 tapi formula dia n minus 1. N minus 1 times 180. Macam tu. Ini formula dia. N minus 1 multiply by 180 degree. N tolak 1 darab dengan 180. N tu maksudnya berapa sudut yang kamu ada. So dalam kes ni berapa sudut? Berapa sudut pula? Berapa sisi kan? Berapa sisi dalam kes ni? Ada 6 sisi. Not n minus 1. Aduh, cikgu pun ikut-ikut ni. N minus 2. N minus 2 times 180. Okay, n minus 2 ah. So now, 4 times 180. Betul lah. Right, bukan n minus 1 lah. Okay. This one. This is the formula. N minus 2 n minus 2 times 180 degree. Okay. So, cara nak dapatkan hexagon ada 6 kan? So, you masukkan nilai n tu 6. Jadi, 6 tolak 2. And then you multiply by 180. You akan dapat jawapan dia. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 180, you get 720 degree. Okay. So, itu untuk dapatkan you punya interior angles. Radcliffe, okay or not, Radcliffe? Kalau tak okay, you kena bagi tahu. Okay. Takut nanti cikgu terlepas pula. Kalau tak okay, bagi tahu. Alright. Okay, so now you got your x equals to 60. Done. Next, let us look at question number 6. Audrey, okay, Audrey? Ada tak cara lain untuk ingat formula ni? I mean, bukan formula lah. I mean the angle. Pernah tak cikgu ajar kamu? Apa cara lain untuk kamu ingat 720 darjah ni? Any methods that you have learned before? Or I have taught you guys before. I forgot already. Sebab cikgu ingat kalau cikgu ajar form 3 tak ada benda ni lah. Tapi form 2, I'm not sure. Siapa yang ingat cara dia? If let's say, tiba-tiba dalam exam, you tak ingat formula ni. Macam Audrey tadi tak ingat kan? Ingat-ingat lupa kan? Ingat lupa 2n minus 1 times 180. Macam tu lah kan? Tapi kalau let's say you tak ingat formula ni, is there any other way for you to know berapa jumlah sudut di dalam you punya polygon? Okay. Ini adalah satu cara yang you kena salin lah. That means that you jot it down lah. Jot it down in your notebook. So maksudnya, sekarang yang kita tahu, the first one is the triangle, 180 degree. Ini tak ada orang yang tak tahu dia. 180 adalah bentuk segitiga. Okay, segitiga is 180. Lepas tu segi 4, I'm just gonna put a number 4 lah. Segi 4, 360. Okay, 360. Segi 5 ataupun pentagon. Okay, pentagon bukan segi 5. Pentagon is 540. Okay, and then hexagon, 720. Okay, so ini adalah you punya sisi-sisi ya. But how do I know? How do I know is 540, how do I know it's 720? And then if let's say I continue lagi, okay, ini heptagon is 900. How do I know all this? What do I do? How do I know? Dalam kepala cikgu, macam mana cikgu tahu? It's like 720. Adakah cikgu hafal? Ataupun cikgu ada something going on? This is 1080. Macam tu. Lepas tu yang ada 9 sisi punya ni, this is 1260, okay? Yeah. Lepas tu, yang 10 ni, this is 1440, okay? But the problem is, how do I know all these values? Macam mana cikgu dapat semua value ni? Anyone want to have a rough guess? What do I do? Priscilla, do you know what I do? Yes, very good. I plus 180 semua tu. So maksudnya, ini cikgu tambah 180. Yang ini pun cikgu tambah 180. Yang ini pun cikgu tambah 180. Ini pun tambah 180. Yang ini pun tambah 180. Yang ini pun tambah 180. Dan ini pun tambah 180. Okay? Just like that lah. So maksudnya, ini adalah kes-kes kamu untuk kamu hafal. Right? Untuk kamu tahulah. Maksudnya, starting from your triangle, 180. Lepas tu plus 180, plus 180, plus 180, plus 180, plus 180 sampai you dapat you punya polygon tu. Kalau 6 sisi, tambahlah sampai you dapat nombor 6 tu. So which is 720. Okay, hopefully that's fine with you. And then one more thing is that satu lagi dia punya pemahaman kan for you guys to understand kenapa dia kena tambah dengan 180. Okay, example lah, you have a triangle. Triangle kamu adalah 180. You have to remember that one sampai bila. This is 180. Tapi kalau you dah segi 4, if let's say you have a rectangle kan, ataupun you punya quadrilateral kan, you cuba bahagi ni. Ada dua segitiga kan? So 180 sini, 180 sini. So that's why you dapat 360. That's why you dapat 360. 180 plus 180 dapat 360 lah. Okay? Lepas tu, let's say kamu ada pentagon. Katakan you have pentagon. Jap. Katakan you ada pentagon. Okay? Katakan you ada pentagon. Alright? Pentagon kamu. Example pentagon kamu. Pentagon kamu berapa segitiga? Cikgu buat 1, cikgu buat 2. So maksudnya you have 180 over here, you have 180 over here, you have 180 over here. Like that. So kalau 180, 180, tambah dia akan dapat 540. Just like that lah. Kalau you ada hexagon. Let's say you have the hexagon. Okay, hexagon kamu. Okay, hexagon kamu 1, 2, 3. You ada 4. You ada 4 segitiga. 180, 180, 180, 180. Total dapat 720. So that is one of the way that we can discuss this part, alright? Untuk bahagian ni. And hopefully you can understand kenapa dia macam tu. Is that good? Boleh? Kalau okey, tolong respon. Respon okey. Okey Yang ni you kena hafal lah. Kalau you tak boleh hafal ni make sure you understand the process. Okay, proses dia tambah 180, tambah 180, tambah 180 saja untuk dapatkan you punya nilai-nilai interior angles. Okay, so total interior angles. So done with that one. Kita tengok kepada next question. Question number 6. Alright. Why is it important for you to know macam mana nak dapatkan dia punya interior angles kan? Because questions like question number 6 pun perlukan dia punya pengetahuan tu juga. Okay. So now let me see. This question says that you are given 2 regular pentagons. Okay. Ada 2 regular pentagons. You ada 2 regular pentagons. So pentagon kamu kena tahu berapa sudut keseluruhan dia di dalam tu. What is the total interior angle? Redcliffe, tell me. What is the total interior angle for pentagon? Berapa jumlah sudut dalam tu? $540. Very good. 540. Tapi kan, disebabkan soalan cakap dia regular pentagon, so you can make a conclusion. You boleh katakan kalau dia regular pentagon, maksudnya setiap satu sudut ni sama besar ni. This is the same angle, okay? Setiap satu angle tu sama besar. So cuba kira ni berapa satu angle ni. Tell me what do you get? Satu angle tu berapa nilai dia? Redcliffe, tell me what do you get? Satu angle tu berapa nilai dia? Satu tu berapa besar angle dia? What do you do? Cuba kamu tengok, berapa sudut dalam pentagon kamu? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kan? Ada 5 sudut kan? So, satu sudut tu berapa lah? Jumlah dia 540. So, what do you do with 540? 540 itu you kena bahagi dengan? You kena bahagi dengan? You kena bahagi dengan 5. Very good. So, try bahagi 5 apa dapat? 108 kan? 108. Sana 108 Sini pun 108. Sini pun 108. Like that. Okay, so 108, 108 kan? Now, how to get this Y lah? Macam mana dapat Y ni? How do I get this Y then? Macam mana dapat Y ni? Anyone want to try? 360 minus 108 minus 108. Okay, so try. 360 minus 108 minus 108. And then you see what happened here. 360 minus 180 minus 180. So jawapan kamu, 180 pula 108. 108 minus 108. Your answer is 144. Okay? So jawapan 144. Betul lah tu. Jawapan kamu adalah B. Okay? Alright, so question, this one okay not? Semua boleh ikut? Patricia, Priscilla, Redcliffe, Audrey, are you okay? Okay, so question number 6 done. Now, I give you some time again. Try out question number 7, question number 8, question number 9, until question number 10. Okay, cuba buat lagi sampai soalan nombor 10. Okay, I don't want to give you straight away. I need you to think for a while. Okay, you kena fikir sekejap. If you are done, you let me know. Kalau dah siap sampai soalan 10, bagi tahu saya. If you have done until question number 10, you let me know. Okay, I give you around 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll come back to you at 3:55. Cikgu nak kamu try dulu. Cuba buat. Okay, so ada dah dapat dah soalan nombor 7. Anyone got the answer question number 7? Question number 7. Find the perimeter of the shaded region. This one may be a bit more challenging kan? Okay, bahagian yang soalan nombor 7 ni. Anyone tried and got the answer? You want to share with me? What is the formula that are involved? Okay, katakan macam ni lah. I will do it outside lah. Kita akan buat di luar. Okay, so now, let's say, alright, this is your question Do you remember that the formula of arc length kah? Ada siapa yang ingat kah? Panjang lengkok. Panjang lengkok ataupun in English we call it as the arc length. Okay, anyone recall the formula? Okay, the formula is like this. Okay, arc length kamu adalah x over 360 darab dengan 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r. Oops. Oh, tertutup ah. So sorry. Aduh. Okay, mungkin cikgu letak buku dekat keyboard tu, so dia tertekan kot. Okay, so over here, we want to know what is our perimeter of the shaded region. Oh, anyone tried kah? Priscilla, do you get any answer for that? Okay, so tak apa. Kita tengok apa formula yang kita akan gunakan untuk soalan nombor 7. So question number 7 says that you want to find the perimeter of the shaded region. The perimeter of the shaded region is here. Ini yang shaded region kamu. So it means that you want to find this one, plus this one, and plus this one. So that's the first one. And then this one, plus this one, and plus this one. This is the second one, okay? So you kena tambahkan semua kawasan yang berlorek itu kan. You kena tambahkan semua yang tepi-tepi itu. Okay, all the sides. You add up all the sides and that's when you have the perimeter. Itulah perimeter kamu, okay? So I hope you can understand what does perimeter means. Okay or not? Perimeter. Boleh faham perimeter kah? You can understand what is perimeter? Up until the idea first. Okay nak? Perimeter okay Right now, apa yang kamu tahu di sini adalah, oh ini 3.5. This is 3.5 because question tell you that you have a square. Okay, so PQTU and QRST are two squares. So kalau dia square, maksudnya panjang ni sama 3.5. This is also 3.5. Oh, jap. Wait this is also 3. Okay, this is also 3.5. Kenapa macam ni? Wait This is also 3.5. Okay, this is also 3.5. This is also 3.5. Okay. Yang masalah dia kan, the problem is you have to find what is this length. Okay, ini kita panggil sebagai arc length. Itulah arc length kamu and also this one. You will call this as the arc length. Arc length. Okay, you call it as the arc length. Do you know that both arc lengths are the same kah? Dua arc length tu sama panjang. Do you agree with me? Dua arc length tu sama panjang. Dua bahagian tu sama besar. Do you agree? Yes, okay. So now, when you want to find the arc length, this is the formula that we're going to use, alright? So ini adalah formula untuk arc length. So arc length kamu x over 360 times 2 pi r. X over 360 times 2 pi r. Jadi, senang saja x ni merujuk kepada dia punya angle, sudut. Okay, it refers to your angle. It refers to your sudut. So kalau you tengok ke sini kan, okay, let's say we are taking this out. Kita keluarkan benda ni keluar, okay? So this one is how it looks like, alright? Di sini 3.5, di sini 3.5, di sini P, di sini T, okay? Kita nak cari berapa panjang yang arc length kamu kan? Tapi you have to understand that one part is that this is 90 degree. Okay, so itu adalah 90 darjah. So we can just put everything to the formula. Masukkan dalam formula kamu. 90 over 360 multiplied by 2, multiplied by, what's your pi? Your pi should be 22 over 7 now. 22 over 7. And then what is your radius? Your radius is 3.5, okay? So just do me a favor and calculate this one and see what you get. 90 divided by 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by 3.5, okay? So you akan dapat 5.5. Try and get 5.5 for me. Do you get 5.5 up until here? Kalau dapat, can you reply dapat? Dapat 5.5. Dapat ah? Okay ah? Alright, so Priscilla dapat. What about the rest? Radcliffe, are you following? Cikgu nak kamu tekan calculator, dah dapatkan 5.5 ni. Do you get 5.5? Dapat ah? Okay. So, what happened to 5.5? 5.5 ni adalah you punya arc length ah. So, this is 5.5 tadi. This one is also 5.5. Okay, arc length kamu yang bahagian ni pun 5.5 juga. I rub this off supaya kamu tak keliru, right? So, that particular arc length is 5.5 ah. 5.5. This is 5.5. Okay, so once you have all this done kan, you nak buat apa? You kena tambahkan semua bahagian-bahagian dia. So therefore, I have 3.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.5 plus 5.5 plus 5.5. Semua ni. Cuba tambahkan. And there you go, you akan dapat jawapan dia. Okay, cuba dulu and tell me what do you get there. 3.5 times 3.5. What do you get lah? Okay, tell me what do you get. 25. Very good, Priscilla. So that is your answer. Question jawapan dia adalah D. Priscilla, okay ah? Can understand this part? Boleh terima? Boleh ah? Patricia and Radcliffe and also Audrey, are you guys okay? You boleh terima tak? Just in case anything that you don't understand kan, please let me know. Ada benda yang kamu tak faham kan, you bagi tahu cikgu. Okay? I can re-explain. Cikgu boleh explain lagi. Oh, Audrey's line is not good kah? Oh, I see, I see. Oh. Macam mana? Oh? Dia dapat masuk balik kah? Dia tak dapat masuk balik dah. She cannot rejoin kah? Ya kah? Rejoin pasal out balik ah. Sebenarnya. You guys punya line okay lah so far. I have recorded the lesson. Okay, let's say kalau dia tak dapat nak join, later on I will upload to YouTube lah. Dia boleh tengok semula nantilah. Okay. Alright, so now this is question number 7. If it's done, alright, we will look into the next part. Okay, kita tengok question number 8 pula. Question number 8. This is the challenge lah bila kita belajar secara online ni. Okay, macam ni lah kan. Okay, the challenges are there. And the struggle is real lah kan. Betul tak? Struggle is real lah. So look at question number 8. Diagram 5 shows the sector of a circle with a center O. So question asks you to find the area of the sector. So area of sector is over here. Itu adalah area of sector kamu. Area of sector, the formula is that x over 360 multiplied by pi r square. Itu formula untuk area of sector. Tolong catat of sector. Okay, area of sector is x over 360 times pi r square. So itu adalah area of sector. Now, lepas kamu dah dapat area of sector macam tu, then what you do? You kena cari apa nilai x kan? So what is the subtended angle? Maksud cikgu kan, apa angle yang untuk sector ni? So this one, the angle that I show in red, right? So macam mana nak kira angle tu? This angle is 60 degree. Am I right? Itu adalah 60 darjah. Betul tak? Betul lah? Okay, so what happened is that I just put into the formula 60 over 360 multiply by 22 over 7 multiply by r square. Your r square over here is 21. 21 square. Okay, so just do me a favor and calculate that one. 60 over 360 multiply by 22 over 7 multiply by 21 square. Okay, so tekan yang tu you akan dapat 231. So nice one, you have this answer 231. That's all. You akan dapat jawapan dia. Okay, 231. That's it. Itulah jawapan kamu. Okay. Alright, so question 8 is done. Question 8 is C. And then look at question 9 straight away. Kita tengok question 9. Question 9 says that you have a semi-cylinder. Semi-cylinder, lepas tu dia tanya kamu, calculate the total surface area of the semi-cylinder. This is something that is a bit challenging untuk semi-cylinder ni ataupun untuk surface area. Kita nak cerita pasal luas permukaan. Something that is a bit challenging. Before I go into this one, okay, I want to share with you, okay, apakah maksud surface area first? Okay, apa maksud surface area dulu? Sekejap. Okay. Surface area. Suppose you have a cylinder. Surface area. Ini bentuk silinder kamu. Okay, bagi tahu cikgu, berapa permukaan yang kamu nampak dekat you punya silinder ni? How many surfaces? Berapa permukaan yang you nampak? Let's say you are having this kind of cylinder. How many surface ada? Berapa muka? Ada dua? Dua sejak kah? Ya dah 3 kan? Betul tak? Okay, macam ni kan. Let's say lah, this is your cylinder kan. Contohnya, this is your cylinder kan. Okay. Ini satu muka sebenarnya. This one is a curved surface kan. Curved surface is one part. Satu bahagian tu adalah curved surface. Lepas tu kan, atas tu satu muka. Bawah tu pun satu muka juga. Okay, so it means that you have three surfaces. Atas, bawah, and tepi. Tapi tepi ni adalah bentuk yang curve lah. Tepi ni bentuk curve lah. Boleh terima tak? Bentuk curve lah tepi ni. Boleh? Boleh? Okay, so now, you see dalam tiga-tiga surface ni kan, satu yang curve, atas bulat, bawah bulat kan. So, we are going to have the formula. Kita nak cerita pasal formula sekarang. Okay, what's the formula of your surface area? Atas ni adalah bulatan. Okay, atas tu bulatan. Bawah tu pun bulatan juga. Okay, atas bulatan, bawah pun bulatan juga kan. So, what happen now is that, apa yang kita akan buat lepas ni adalah, kita kena cari apa formula bulatan. What is the formula to find the area of circle? Sebab you ada dua circle kan. You ada dua circle, maksudnya, the area of circle is pi r square. Bawah pun pi r square juga. Therefore, you boleh kata 2 pi r square. Sebab ada dua circle. Alright. Now, one more thing. Kalau you punya curved surface, macam mana nak cari dia punya curved surface? So, how do you find the curved surface punya area? How do you get the curved surface punya area? Alright. Now, the idea is that their formula is 2 pi r h. 2 pi r h. Kenapa dia 2 pi r h? Oh guys, kenapa dia 2 pi r h? Oh, yang ini adalah h kamu, itu tinggi dah. Kenapa dia 2 pi r h? Oh, listen carefully. This is what you have learned in your form 2. So over here, cuba kamu bayangkan, you punya silinder ni kita potong separuh, lepas tu kita buka. Potong separuh, lepas tu buka. Okay, try to imagine that. Okay, you can see my webcam kan? Cuba potong, lepas tu buka. Okay, kalau you dapat bayangkan, potong silinder kamu buka, potong silinder kamu tu buka. Potong, lepas tu buka. Cuba kamu bayangkan, lepas kamu buka tu kan, apa jadi? Dia akan dapat bentuk segi empat kan? Lepas tu, you akan ada satu bulatan di atas kan? Lepas tu ada satu bulatan di bawah. Betul tak? Is this what you have in mind when you open up your cylinder? Adakah itu bentuk yang kamu dapat? Yes kan? Okay, now, let me tell you something, okay? Listen, this one is height. Ini tinggi dia. Cuba bayangkan, betul lah, itu tinggi dia kan? Sebab bila you buka-buka, inilah tinggi dia. Kalau you gulung-gulung balik, dapatlah inilah H kamu kan? Betul tak? Alright, one more thing. Do you know that this length here, panjang ini, adalah circumference untuk bulatan ni? Is that the circumference? 2 pi r. Betul tak? Lilitan bulatan tu, sama panjang dengan panjang segi empat tu. It's the same length as the segi empat. Setuju tak? Is this 2 pi r? Panjang bawah tu pun 2 pi r juga. Dapat terima ke tidak? Dapat Alright, so dapatlah case ni Ini adalah you punya curved surface. Itu curved surface kamu. So therefore, untuk cari area of curved surface, 2 pi r h. Panjang darat lebar. Panjang darat lebar. So dapatlah 2 pi r h. Okay, panjang darat dengan lebar. So that's why this one is the curved surface. Okay, this one is the two circle. Dua circle tambah dengan curved surface. This is the formula for surface area of cylinder. Bear in mind, this particular formula tidak diberi dalam exam. Dalam exam kamu tak ada formula ni. So means that you have to by heart. You kena hafal juga. Kalau you dapat faham, macam cikgu buat ni, bagus. Kalau you tak dapat faham, then you have to, the only method that you can do this question is to memorize the formula. Okay, formula untuk surface area. Alright? Okay, so once you have done with this one, kalau ini sudah okay. Okay, kalau ini sudah okay, let's say if this is done with you, alright? Let us try out and see apa yang berlaku kalau kita nampak satu bentuk semi-cylinder. Separuh silinder. Okay, let's look at the question now. Kita tengok soalan ni. The question is a bit challenging dekat sini. Dia semi-cylinder. Maksudnya silinder ini dipotong dua. Okay, dia ada potong dua silinder kamu. Alright? Kalau ada potong dua silinder kamu tu, maksudnya circle kamu separuh saja. Half circle over here. This is also half circle. Setuju tak? You only have half circle. Betul? Only half circle lah. Okay kan? Only half circle kan? Half circle, kalau separuh dekat sini, kalau gabungkan dapat satu circle tak? Do you get one circle or not? Yes, Yes, Kalau dapat one circle means that the formula ada tukar sedikit tau. Tadi kan 2 pi r square. Tapi sebabkan dia cuma ada satu circle je, kamu kena buang dua ni. Okay, you have to throw away the number 2. So supposedly, you punya formula nanti akan ada perubahan sedikit. You will have pi r square only. Right, pi r square. And then kena tambah dengan, you nampak curve surface tu, sebab dia separuh saja, curve surface kamu pun separuh juga. Dia pun separuh juga. So, kalau separuh juga, dia akan jadi, sepatutnya 2 pi r h kan? Sepatutnya 2 pi r h. Buanglah dua tu. Sebab dia separuh saja. So, over here you only have pi r h saja. So, therefore, your formula ada sedikit perubahan, which is pi r square, tambah dengan pi r h. And one more thing, yang kamu kena ingat, which is, ada lagi satu muka di sini. Ada satu muka lagi. So, sebenarnya, semicircle ada 4 muka. Muka pertama, yang depan, muka kedua di belakang, muka ketiga yang curve surface, and then muka keempat yang bawah ni. Bawah tu. Okay, bawah tu adalah segi 4 sama. So, segi 4 tepat. Segi 4 tepat, your rectangle, you kena tambah lagi dengan panjang darab lebar, which is your length time breadth. So, there you go. That's the formula. Rasa-rasa okay? So, let us count. You want to try? You want to try and count? Cuba kira. Cuba kira 2 minutes and see what you get. Do you get the answer or not? Cuba kira dulu. Ikut formula yang cikgu bagi tu. Just masukkan nilai-nilai dia. What's the value of pi? What's the value of r? Lepas tu berapa nilai h dia? Apa nilai l? Apa nilai b dia? Cuba masukkan. Lepas tu kita dapat jawapan dia, okay? Try it out. Try it out, 694. Very good, Priscilla. Your answer is 694. Nice one, okay? So that's correct. So over here, what we're going to do is that kita akan masukkan semua nilai-nilai yang kamu nampak. So the first of all is that your value of pi, which is 22/7. Okay, so over here, 22/7 multiplied by the radius is 7. 7 square. Sebab apa 7? Sebab sini daripada tengah-tengah sampai hujung ni, okay? So that is 7. So itulah you punya radius. So 7 square. And then plus 22/7 multiplied by 7 multiplied by height, which is 15. And then last kali tambah lagi dengan length time breadth, which is 14 times 15. Okay, just do that and then you should get the answer 694. Correct. Okay, jawapan kamu adalah let me see, B. Okay, B is the correct answer. Okay, so 694. Rasa-rasa okay, terima? Boleh terima tak? If you have anything to ask, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, tanya. Kalau tidak, cikgu tak tahu apa yang you tak tahu. Patricia, you have anything to ask me? Cikgu takut cikgu tak tahu apa yang you tak tahu. Itu saja. Do you guys have the formula list kah yang cikgu bagi awal tahun? Ada tak? Ada tak cikgu bagi kamu formula list awal tahun? Ada kan? Ada tak formula surface area? Because I forgot. Ada surface area punya formula kah dalam tu? Priscilla, can you help to see? If you have kan, you cuba tengok formula yang cikgu bagi tu. Ada tak formula untuk surface area? Because kalau tak silap cikgu, macam tak ada. That's why it's important for you to memorize the formula. Kalau ada, okay lah. Kalau ada, you boleh ikut. Cuma masalah dia tak ada. Tak ada kan? Yang cikgu ingat, dalam list tu dia ada volume. Betul tak? Volume you have, right? In the formula ada volume. Kan? Only volume saja ada. So that's why dia macam agak incomplete lah. But then that is the only formula yang you akan jumpa if you have an exam. Kalau you ada exam, itulah formula yang kamu ada. Right? And you won't have any other formula. So it means that when we deal with surface area, you have to memorize. You must memorize. Okay? If you cannot memorize, if you don't know all the formulas, later on I will write all the formulas out for you. And you try to memorize all the formulas. So over here, this one is question 9 done. Question number 10. Ini adalah satu soalan yang berkenaan dengan volume. Okay, we talk about volume. Okay, so now we talk about volume. Volume kamu, okay, your volume is in terms of hemisphere. Soalan cakap you have a cone and also a hemisphere. Okay, a cone and a hemisphere. A cone and a hemisphere maksudnya cone kamu, formula untuk volume, okay, volume of a cone. Try to look at your volume here. Volume of a cone is 1 over 3 pi r square h. Okay, so that's the formula that we have. Okay, 1 over 3 pi r square h. And then we also have the formula of sphere. Dalam you punya table, in your formula list kan, you ada sphere. Volume of a sphere is actually 4 over 3 pi r square. Pi r cube, sorry. Pi r cube. 4 over 3 pi r cube. Itu adalah untuk you punya sphere. But then, the question doesn't give you sphere kan? Dia bagi apa? Dia bagi hemisphere. So, hemisphere is half of it. Hemisphere. So, this one also not given. Hemisphere tak diberi ya. Tetapi you boleh tukar sikit daripada you punya sphere. Sphere is 4 over 3. So, hemisphere is 2 over 3. Okay, you boleh tambah formula ni lah sendiri ya. Tambahkan sikit dekat you punya formula list tu. Kalau tidak, you tambahkan dekat you punya buku nota. Okay, just put it in your notebook, alright? Anything that you scribble on when you do maths, buat dekat situ supaya you tak lupa. Alright, so that is for hemisphere. Hemisphere is half of your sphere, which is 4 over 3. Tukar jadi 2 over 3. Okay, so now in this case, question asks you to calculate the volume of the composite solid. Composite solid maksudnya you kena tambahkan dua-dua solid tu. So it means that the volume of your hemisphere, you kena tambah dengan volume of a cone. So itulah yang dia minta sebenarnya. Okay, that is what it means. So now what you have done, what you know is that you tahu dah you punya volume of hemisphere. Supposedly you ada dia punya nilai tapi you kena cari sendiri juga. Tengok sini This is 14. Do I know what's my radius? You kena cari sendiri. That's what I meant lah. Radius kamu 7. Okay, you know your radius is 7. So when you know radius is 7, maksudnya yang ini pun 7 juga. Betul tak? Because that is a circle kan? 7, 7. Kalau atas tu 7, tell me what is the height of the cone. Berapa tinggi cone tu? Hmm. 24. Very good, Priscilla. So 24. That is your answer. Okay, sepatutnya tinggi cone kamu adalah 24. Therefore, you can substitute everything to the formula. The formula of hemisphere, 2 over 3 pi r cube, plus your cone, which is 1 over 3 times pi r square h. Okay? Masukkan semua dalam formula kamu and try to get me the answer. Okay, kalau dapat jawapan dia, let me know what do you get. Apa jawapan kamu. You should get one of the answer, A, B, C, D. Tu ada satu jawapan kat situ. So you try and substitute everything to the formula and then cuba dapatkan jawapan dia. If you get it, let me know. Oh, Priscilla got the answer already. Oh, so fast. Jawapan kamu D lah, betul lah. Jawapan kamu sepatutnya D. Okay, just put everything into the formula. So now you have 2 over 3 multiplied by pi r cube kan. Pi kamu is 22 over 7. Lepas tu r is 7 cube. Okay, so that's the first part. Lepas tu you kena tambah dengan formula kamu belakang ya. Tambah dengan 1 over 3. And then times pi, which is 22 over 7. And then your radius again is 7 square. And then your height is 24. 24 you punya curve tu. You punya cone tu 24. Okay, this one. So just do a calculation over here, then you should get the answer, which is D. So D adalah jawapan kamu. Alright, so any problem to us? Audrey is not here. So Priscilla and Priscilla okay sudah. Patricia and also Radcliffe. Ada soalan mau tanya kah? Tak ada. Okay. Kalau tak ada, alright. We look at question 11 then. Kita tengok soalan nombor 11. Alright. Okay, so let us look at question 11, soalan 11, alright? Soalan 11. Okay, soalan 11. Dia cakap, hitung jarak antara dua titik. Now, adakah tidak formula dalam you punya formula list tu? To find distance. Is there any formula in your list? Kalau ada, you let me know. Ada kan? Okay, ada, bagus. Alright. Cari and cuba gunakan formula tu. What's the formula? The formula is square root x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Is this how it looks like, Priscilla, in the list, in the formula list? Is this how it looks like? Yes? dia tulis distance. Betul lah? Yes, ah? Okay, so this is the formula that you have to use. Okay, itu adalah formula yang you kena tahu macam nak gunakan. Formula is given in the exam, so just that you have to know how to use it, right? Simple saja. Kalau you nampak coordinates, you have to give your own label. You kena labelkan salah satu ini sebagai x1, y1. Okay, what do I mean? Apa maksud cikgu? Maksud cikgu, satu titik tu you letak x1, y1. x1 kawan dia mesti y1. Lepas tu satu lagi adalah x2 kawan dia mesti y2. So this is what you do when you want to start finding you punya distance. Labelkan dulu dua-dua titik tu, x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, labelkan dulu. Lepas you dah labelkan, masukkan semua dalam you punya formula. And that's it. Okay, masukkan dalam you punya formula. So over here, I'll just substitute x2 is equals to 4. 4 minus negative 4. Buat macam tu. Okay, so you have square. Alright. Follow saja. Kalau 4, x2 kamu letak 4. Lepas tu tolak, wajib tolak. Ikut formula dia tolak. X1 is negative 4, letak dalam bracket. Okay, so it's easier for you to count later on. Lepas tu tambah dengan, okay, you have y2 minus y1. So y2 is 9, minus y1 is 3, and then you have a square. Lepas tu jangan lupa jawapan kamu kena square root kan. Okay, so now just calculate some simple calculation over here. You can dapat 64. Lepas tu plus 36 kan. So jawapan kamu square root of 100, which is equivalent to 10. So your answer is A. So question 11 is A. How many of you got this right? Can you type a 1? Kalau betul, type 1. Siapa yang dapat betul ni? Okay, good job, Priscilla. The rest of you, any problem or not? Radcliffe and Priscilla, you have anything to ask? Radcliffe dapat juga? Bagus, bagus, bagus. Okay, so jawapan kamu 10. Alright, so this is done. Question 11 is done. Priscilla, you okay? Priscilla, you okay? Priscilla. Patricia. Aduh, cikgu tanya ni malah je panggil Priscilla. Patricia, you okay? Okay, alright. Okay, cuba tengok soalan yang ke-12. Look at question number 12, right? Question number 12. This is to find your coordinates of the center of the circle. Okay, coordinate of the center of the circle. This thing here is also another formula that you learn in your, that you have in your formula list, if I'm not mistaken, right? So soalan tanya kamu, apakah you punya center of the circle? Center of the circle. Do you know that when you have a center, when you have a circle here, soalan cakap AB is the diameter kan? Maksudnya diameter kamu adalah ni lah, ini adalah diameter kamu. So it means that when you have a circle, kalau let's say cikgu lukis satu circle lah, I have a circle lah, diameter is here. Oops, sorry. Oops. Okay, somewhere here. Ini diameter kamu, okay? Cikgu cuma gunakan, I think I better draw the same as the question lah. Lebih kurang macam ni lah. Okay, itu diameter dia. So sekarang you ada titik A kamu, which is negative 4, 5 kan? Okay, itu titik A kamu. Lepas tu you ada B, which is 2, negative 3, right? Okay, so this is your titik B. This is your titik A. Question is asking you, soalan tanya kamu untuk mencari midpoint. Midpoint pula. Dia suruh kamu cari center of the circle. Center of the circle is somewhere here. Center of the circle lah. But do you know that this one is considered as the midpoint? Midpoint maksudnya titik tengah. Adakah itu maksudnya kah? Titik tengah. Is that correct? Titik tengah. Betul? Titik tengah? Boleh faham maksud titik tengah? Because it's in the middle. It's in the middle of the point A and B. It's in the middle of the point A and B. Alright. Try to look for me. Is there any formula on midpoint dalam list tu? Priscilla, you help me. Kalau ada, bagus. Kalau tak ada, cikgu nak minta kamu hafal. Ada tak dalam list tu? Formula for midpoint. Ada tak? Ada. Kalau ada, bagus. So, kalau ada, you kena tahu macam nak gunakan saja. Okay, so over here, midpoint, the formula would be x1 plus x2 over 2. Lepas tu, y1 plus y2 over 2. So, this one is in your formula list. Alright? Okay? If you ask me, how do I know all this formula? Because cikgu dah hafal dah. Okay, I have already memorized them, right? And then it will be good to you if you can memorize them. Kalau tak dapat, then what to do lah? You boleh refer daripada formula. Kecuali kalau formula memang tak ada dalam list tu. So, with x1 plus x2 over 2, you boleh gunakan idea yang sama. You have to labelkan. Let's say this is x1, this is y1. Atas tu kalau x2, ini tepi dia mesti y2. So, over here, masukkan nilai dia, which is 2 minus plus minus 4. Okay, 2 plus minus 4, and then over 2. Macam tu. So, that's the first part. Second part pula, you ambil nilai dia, negative 3 plus, you have 5. Lepas tu, over 2. That's the second part. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, next. Apa you boleh buat lagi lepas tu? You boleh kira sekejap lah. Just as simple as that. So, over here, depan sekali tu, you kira 2 minus 4, negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. Negative 1. And then you have 2/1, you get 1 also lah. Okay, so jawapan kamu untuk 12 is a very simple A lah. Jawapan dia A, betul lah. That's your answer, okay? Question number 12, okay Right, let us look at question number 13. Kita tengok soalan nombor 13 13 Okay, soalan 13. Jadual menunjukkan nilai-nilai bagi fungsi y equals to 5 minus x to the power of 3, right? So you are asked to find the value of h and the value of k. Anyone tried this out ke? Ada siapa yang cuba soalan ni? And then do you get anything? Ada dapat jawapan dia? Let me know kalau ada. 13. Priscilla, question 13 is D. D, any other answers? Selain daripada D? Okay, Priscilla says D. What about Patricia? Patricia, have you tried? Radcliffe, ada cuba? Cikgu akan buat dekat luar juga to make sure you understand clearer, okay? Sebab kecil sangat tempat ni. Okay, this question here, right? Radcliffe, ada dapat jawapan dah ataupun belum? Radcliffe baru masuk balik kah? Alright, so now let us look at this one. Okay, kita tengok macam mana nak jawab soalan nombor 13 how to answer question 13, right? You're asked to find the value of h and you're asked to find the value of k. And before that, Priscilla, your answer is not correct. Jawapan kamu ada silap sikit. Okay, you have a bit of mistake. So let us look at question number 13 straight away. You want to find the value of h and you want to find the value of k. First of all, you tahu dia punya persamaan is like this. Y is equals to 5 minus x to the power of 3. Okay, you know that one. Okay. Lepas tu, you kena masukkan nilai y dengan nilai x yang diberikan. Okay. So now what happens is that you put your h as your x and then you put your y as 13. So over here 13 is in front. Lepas tu, 5 tolak dengan h kuasa 3. Is that good? Okay, masukkan h tu jadi x. Lepas tu, 13 tu masuk ke dalam y kamu. Alright? So that's how we find the value of h. Lepas itu, you have to understand that this is negative h kuasa 3. Kita boleh pindahkan ke depan. Lepas tu, 13 ni boleh pindahkan ke belakang. Supaya cikgu dapat h as the subject of your equation, right? So therefore, you have h to the power of 3 equals to 5 minus 13 is negative 8. 5 minus 13 is negative 8. So maksudnya, last step is this cube, if you move it over to the other side, becomes cube root. Cube root of negative 8. Okay, you can just press calculator, you get h equals to negative 2, right? So that's how you get your h. Priscilla, okay? So h is negative 2. Okay, now once you got that one, then the next thing is you can get the value of k lah. So sepatutnya jawapan kamu adalah B lah. The answer is B, alright? So now how do I get the k equals to 6? Using the same idea, okay? Using the same idea, y equals to 5 minus x to the power of 3, alright? Sama idea dia. Lepas tu masukkan nilai y kamu sama dengan k. Lepas tu 5 tolak dengan negative 1 cube. Okay, 5 tolak dengan negative 1 cube. So you akan dapat 5 minus negative 1. So therefore, it's equals to 6 lah. So nilai k kamu sama dengan 6. Alright, hopefully this one is okay with you. So this is the answer. Okay, question 13, itu saja jawapan kamu. Jawapan kamu B So question 13 done Boleh? If you want to screenshot, please do screenshot for a while. Okay, if you need to screenshot, please screenshot. And then let us look at question number 14 now. Alright, question number 14 needs you to understand the formula of speed. Speed, time, and speed, time, and distance. Okay, speed, time, and distance. Let us look at question 14 now. Right? 14. Okay, I read through the question for you. A car moves 150 km within 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, if it moves with a uniform speed, calculate the time in minutes for the car to move 120 km. Sekarang kan, sebabkan kamu tak ada speed, you do not have the speed. The first part of the question, dia cakap, a car moves 150 km within 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay? So maksudnya, daripada the first part of the question, daripada soalan yang pertama ni, bahagian pertama tu, you tahu dia punya distance is 150. And also, you know that the time is 2.5 hours. 2 jam setengah. 2 jam 30 minit. 2 jam 30 minit maksudnya 2.5 hours. I can change this one to become 2.5 hours. 2.5 jam lah maksudnya. 2.5 hours. Okay, so 2.5 hours. I put HR saja. 2.5 hours. Alright? So now, can I just find what is my speed kah? Yeah, what's my speed? Kalau cikgu nak cari speed, what's the formula to find speed again? Anyone? Apa formula untuk cari speed? Speed is equals to distance over time. Ini tak ada dalam you punya formula list tu kan? Okay, formula list kamu tak ada ni. Rasa-rasa cikgu memang tak ada. Speed is distance over time. Ataupun laju sama dengan jarak bahagi masa. Okay, so ini yang BM version. Laju is jarak bahagi masa. Okay, so let us discuss apa yang kita nak buat kat sini. Kita nak cari berapa speed dia. So over here, the speed is distance 150 divided by the time, which is 2.5. Kenapa cikgu letak 2.5? Because cikgu nak tahu dalam kilometer per hour. Okay, kilometer per hour. So over here, 150, you can try and count. 150 divided by 2.5. You can dapat 60. 60 km per hour. Alright, so this is the speed. Inilah speed yang kamu nak gunakan untuk bahagian soalan yang kedua. Bahagian seterusnya, right? Now, it says that it moves with a uniform speed. So, maksudnya speed kamu sudah dapat tadi, which is 60. Speed kamu tu 60. So, question says, calculate the time in minutes for the car to move 120 km. So, maksudnya, time sekarang adalah yang kamu nak cari. Time is the one that you want to find. Tapi, nantilah baru kita cerita, dia kata in terms of minute kan. Okay, in terms of minute, mungkin nantilah you akan cerita dia in terms of minutes. First of all, cari dulu berapa masa dia. Everyone can do this? Ataupun you want me to show you how to find the time? You want to try? Speed equals to distance over time kan? So maksudnya, okay, try first. Priscilla, good. Try first. Use the formula. And then cuba dapatkan time kamu. Alright? And then your time that you get kan might not be the final answer because you kena darab dengan 60. Because you want to find in terms of minutes. Jawapan kamu tu kena darab dengan 60 sebab soalan minta dalam bentuk minute. $120 minutes. Very good. Okay, so your answer is B. 120 minutes. Okay, good job Priscilla. Alright. So how does Priscilla dapat jawapan dia? Macam mana dapat jawapan dia? So speed kamu adalah sama tadi 60 kan? Masukkan 60 kat sini. Distance kamu dia bagi sudah. Distance kamu yang baru ni which is 120 km. So 120 over time. Tukar tempat ni T dengan 60 tu tukar tempat. So T equals to 120 over 60. 120 over 60 is equals to 2 lah. So tapi kan ini adalah 2 hours 2 jam. Soalan minta kamu dalam bentuk minit, you ask you to find in terms of minutes. So maksudnya 2 jam tu darab dengan 60. So that's why you dapat 120 minutes. So that's your answer for question number 14. Alright? Okay, so I think I asked you to try out first 15, 16 and 17. I'm going to give you another 10 minutes. Alright, cuba dulu semua soalan tu before I discuss it with you. Okay? Cuba dulu soalan 15, 16, 17. Kalau boleh sampai habis lah 18, 19, 20. Alright? I give you around 15 minutes and before we end the class, I will try to discuss all the questions with you. Okay? Try it out first. Siapa yang tak siap lagi, cuba dulu. Okay, so how are you? Did you try out question number 15 already? Ada tak formula mencari gradient in your formula list? Is there anything on gradient or not? Ada. Okay, so kalau ada maksudnya it's not that bad lah sebab soalan dalam formula list tu ada. Therefore your gradient, right, ataupun you punya keturunan, okay, gradient is actually I think the formula gives you like this, right? Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Is that the one that it gave you? Itu kan yang dia bagi? Priscilla. Oh, got two. Okay, another one is gradient is equals to negative y-intercept and then divide by x-intercept. Is that another one? Tahu tak? Yes. Okay, nice. Kalaulah ada dot formula ni, lagilah cantik. Okay, so over here. Apa maksud cikgu cantik ni? You can actually use this formula straight away. Because, kalau you tengok dalam soalan ni, nombor 5 ni, inilah kita panggil sebagai y-intercept. Okay, that 5 is y-intercept. And then the 5 down here is also, this is called x-intercept. Sebab dia dekat x. Sebab dia dekat paksi x. Ataupun dalam BM dia nama dia pintasan x. Pintasan x. Sebab dia terpintas pada x. Ini kita namakan sebagai pintasan y. Okay, so atas tu pintasan y. Bawah tu adalah pintasan x. So now what you're going to do is that you just substitute the formula lah. So over here gradient, kamu bagi sebagai label m. M equals to negative. Ikutlah formula dah, negative. Y-intercept is 5 over 5. So jawapan negative 1 now. As simple as that. Your answer is B. Okay. So I think this is not that bad. You can actually refer to the formula. And then also it is quite straightforward lah. Soalan nombor 15 ni. Tak ada banyak benda yang kamu perlu kira. Right. So now let's look at question number 16. 16 says, determine the gradient of a straight line passing through the point 3, 5 with the x-intercept is equal to 3. Okay. Now, you have to understand that bila cerita pasal x-intercept ni, kalau kita cerita x-intercept maksudnya dia punya titik tu dekat paksi x lah. Dia dekat paksi x tu terus lah. So, I want to ask you, katakan if you look at this point kan, okay, this point point A ni kan, apa koordinat dia? Koordinat dia adalah 5, 0. Correct or not? That is the coordinate, 5, 0. Sebab dekat paksi x, dia punya nilai x adalah 5, dia punya nilai y adalah 0. So, that is what we call as the x-intercept, okay? So, now, since the question gives you the x-intercept is 3. Nampak x-intercept tu 3? Maksudnya, arti kata lain lah, dia punya graf ni, dia akan terpintas pada paksi x, and then the coordinate will be 3, 0. Okay, dekat point tu 3, 0. Alright? So, question asks you to find the gradient. Cari the gradient. Cari gradient of the straight line that pass through this point and this point. So, what you're going to do? You are going to use the formula yang atas ni. You kena guna formula yang atas ni, this one. This gradient, okay? y2 minus y1 divide by x2 minus x1, okay? So now, apa kita nak buat adalah labelkan, okay? Labelkan macam biasa. So, bila labelkan yang ini adalah x1, y1, atas tu x2, y2. Masukkan dalam formula. M equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? So, y2 minus y1 is 5 minus 0 over x2 minus x1 is 3 minus 3. 3 minus 3. Oh, okay. 3 minus 3 ya. Apa benda ni soalan ni? Aduh. Okay, so tengok ni. Apa jadi kat sini? 5 tolak 0, 5 kan? 3 tolak 3, 0 lah. Apa jawapan 5 tolak 5 bahagi 0? Okay, tell me what you got. What is the answer for 5 over 0? What is the answer for 5 over 0? Math error kan? Very good. Math error sebab tak boleh ada nilai 5 bahagi 0. So, kalau 5 bahagi 0, it becomes undefined. So, answer is D, undefined. Alright, so that's your answer. Kenapa dia macam tu? Sebab kan, dia punya garisan adalah macam ni. Terus turun ke bawah. Okay, dia menjunam ke bawah, tak ada keturunan. Tak boleh kira keturunan tu. So, keturunan kamu adalah, the gradient is actually infinity. Okay, kita, this one maybe this is the first time you nampak lah. Tapi kalau kamu tengok di sini, itulah maksud dia. The gradient is infinity. So when the gradient is infinity, maksudnya you tak ada satu nilai untuk keturunan kamu. Okay, ataupun you boleh kata dia punya keturunan adalah undefined. Is undefined ataupun dalam BM dia tidak tertakrif. Alright? Okay, boleh ikut ke? Priscilla, okay tak? Boleh, okay, so Radcliffe and Patricia, are you okay? Both of you? Okay, alright. So kalau okay, tengok soalan nombor 17. Look at question 17. 17 is talking about translation. Okay, kita nak cerita translation ya. Siapa yang ingat translation ni? Who remembers? Siapa yang ingat ni? Boleh tekan 5 kah? Press 5 if you still remember. Masih ingat kah? Okay, good Priscilla, good job. Patricia and Radcliffe, masih ingat kah translation ni? Translasi. Masih ingat lagi translasi? Masih. Okay, so translasi ni maksudnya apa? Kalau nampak nombor 3 di atas ni, artinya kamu kena pindahkan ke kanan. Okay, you have to move it to the right hand side. You kena pindah kanan. Lepas tu yang bawah ni, -3 ni, you kena pindahkan ke bawah. So something like this. You kena bina jalan 3 ke kanan. 1, 2, 3 macam tu. Lepas tu turun bawah 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3 ke kanan, 3 ke bawah. Inilah cara you buat translasi. Okay, so let us look at this question. Soalan cakap, which triangle ABCD is the image of triangle X? Triangle X kamu di sini kan? So, kita nak cuba. Let's say, kita ambil lah bucu satu ni kan. Carilah satu bucu tu. Lepas tu, pindahkan 3 ke kanan. 1, 2, 3. Pindahkan 3 ke bawah. 1, 2, 3. Dapatlah sini. Senang saja. Jawapan dia adalah D. Okay? So, this thing is very simple. Question 17, senang. Dapat sudah jawapan dia. And after this, kita cuba tengok soalan nombor 18. Alright? So, no problem. Tengok soalan 18. So, question number 18. Okay, 18 until 20 kita akan cuba habiskan 3 soalan ni, alright? Now, question 18. Dalam diagram 12, 5 triangles are drawn on a square grid, okay? Antara segitiga ABCD yang manakah bukan image bagi segitiga P di bawah satu pantulan? Okay, so this is your P, alright? This is P, Which one do you think is not an image after your reflection? Mana satu jawapan dia? Okay, Priscilla said D. What about Radcliffe? What about Patricia? What do you think? Is it D also? Kalau you kata A kan, A tu betul tak? A tu betul sebab boleh pantul dekat sini kan. A tu betul. Lepas tu C boleh tak? C boleh. C boleh pantul dekat sini kan. C tu pun boleh. B boleh juga. B boleh pantul guna garisan ni. Betul juga. Okay, so B pun boleh juga. So it means that the answer that is not it's not the image after your reflection is D D D tu apa dia? What do you call that? D ni kalau you tengok 1 2 1 2 3 kan. So maksudnya this is a translation. Okay, translasi. So kalau D itu adalah satu jenis translasi. Dia bukannya pantulan. So done with question number 18. Settle soalan 19. Tengok soalan 19 Alright, question number 19 Question says that determine one of the values of the data above that affects the value of mean of the data significantly. Okay, mana satu nilai kan di atas kan? Which value, one of the value, yang akan ada satu, dia akan ada satu kesan yang mendalam affect the value of the mean. Dia akan terkesankan nilai mean kamu. Okay, it will affect your value of mean. So what do you think? 7.5. Yes, very good. 7.5. What do you know? Kenapa you kata ada 7.5? Because 7.5 macam dia agak besar kan kalau dibandingkan dengan nombor-nombor lain kan. This is what we call as the extreme value. Okay, 7.5 tu adalah extreme value kamu. So that's why 7.5 is your answer. It is the extreme value dan nilai itu akan mempengaruhi you punya mean dia. Sebab nilai-nilai lain tu macam dekat-dekat sama. 4.0, 4.4, 4.3, 3.9. Lebih kurang sama. So, yang nilai yang paling jauh tu adalah 7.5. So, that's why 7.5 becomes the extreme value. Nilai yang boleh mempengaruhi. Oh, sekejap Oh, I see. Line Radcliffe pun ada masalah sudah. Okay, so let us just quickly solve the last question lah, soalan 20. Alright, question number 20. A box containing cards labeled with letters from the word kebarangkalian. A card is chosen randomly from a box. Find the probability of choosing a card labeled with consonant. Okay, apa maksud consonant? Consonant means is not A, E, I, O, U. Okay, selain daripada A, E, I, O, U, itulah you punya consonant lah. So in this case, which one is the consonant? K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Betul? Ada 8 Ada 8 8 konsonan. Ada 8 konsonan. Berapa huruf yang kamu nampak di atas? How many letters do you see on top? Okay, another one I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So jawapan kamu 8 bahagi 14. Just take the number of consonant, divide by the total number of letters that you have, right? So 8/14, you can actually just do some simplification. You akan dapat 4/7. So answer is 4/7. There you go, answer the last C. Okay, what do you think, Priscilla and Patricia? Are you okay with question number 20? Okay, alright. So now, since we have a bit more time, but then I don't think I am going to discuss the next part now, alright? So the next part, I will leave it until next week, if that's okay. So you try it out first, soalan bahagian B, because since ramai sudah yang terleft kan. So kita try dulu soalan bahagian B, and possibly try to finish off until question section C lah. Coba habiskan soalan ni. We will discuss this one in the next lesson, okay? So is that good with everyone? Boleh? Okay, so I think that's all for today's class. Bye-bye, take care everyone. If you have any question, please, you can ask me, no worries, all right? So take care everyone, bye-bye. Thank you, Priscilla, bye. Bye, Patricia.